Hey YouTube, and welcome to another video with myself, MicroBoxofX. And as always, please go and check out my partners as well, the Welsh Gamer and eRockX. The links are down below, and as I always say as well, the Project Xbox group on Facebook and the DX Mansion. Make sure you go and check them out as well also. So today's video, it's been a while since I've done a video. When I say a while, it's been a few days. Today's video I'm going to be talking about Battlefront 2. I have been playing it with the EA Access trial. As you probably already know, if you followed me long enough, I did actually pre-order this game. I cancelled my pre-order and I actually contacted Microsoft directly and got them to contact my pre-order because I did it through the Xbox Store. Because of the microtransactions that have been put into the game, I wasn't happy with the fact that you had to play about 40 hours to even unlock one character. I wasn't happy about that, and it was a real pay-to-win scenario. And it's got to the point now where you're paying sort of £55, £60, $80 for a game that's filled with microtransactions as if it should be a free game. I mean, as most of you are aware, on the dashboard on the Xbox and on many other devices, there's many free games that are littered with microtransactions because this is how they make their money. You know, the game is free, and then if you want to buy extra things, there are microtransactions in them, and it seems to be a little bit of a trend now to do these big blockbuster games. I mean, these games must cost an absolute fortune to produce. They've got to. You know, when you've got teams working on these games for 2 years, 3 years at times, making these games, these guys need to be paid. Their skills need to be properly rewarded. But then you've got sort of publishers like Electronic Arts, which obviously want their cut as well. So it is big business. It's probably bigger now than the movie industry, to be honest with you, gaming. I quite happily and quite clearly will hold my hand up and say, I don't know this for definite, but in my own opinion, the gaming market seems to be a lot more successful at the moment than movies. Gaming is a real big thing, and development costs charge more. They obviously go up in time. You know, games aren't what they used to be when somebody used to be able to bang them together in a few weeks. Because us as gamers demand more experience. You know, we want these bigger games, we want these bigger experiences. But you know, you've got to draw the line of how much you can get from the gamer. I mean, games should cost between £40 and £50. I think games can cost a little bit too much these days when you consider that, you know, you can get a movie for sort of £15, £20 on Blu-ray, and the production costs are about equal. So, you know, you do have to look at the game cost, and the games have tended to say you know, they're all around about the same price. I remember paying £45, £50 for 3DO games back in the day, and Nintendo cartridges we could be paying £60, £70 for a Nintendo game on the Nintendo 64. So the games have roughly stayed around about the same area. They haven't gone up a great deal, but as I said earlier, production costs have gone up, and they're looking for different ways to get money back. Now, some people are really happy with microtransactions, and you know, they love piling their money into these games, and fair play to you if you like doing that. If you like spending hundreds of pounds on FIFA and things like that, that's your right to do that as a gamer. But like most gamers, you know, when we spend £50, £60 on a game, we don't want to be putting the same amount again into a game, and a hell of a lot more potentially if you really want that, if you feel that way inclined, to unlock things in a game that should unlock it anyway. So obviously the big news today is that DICE, EA, whoever's involved with this, has given in to public pressure. They've decreased the amount of time required to unlock these characters by 75%. That's quite a big margin. Now, I've got no problem in playing a game to unlock things. I mean, we've done it in all the Call of Duties and many games where you keep ranking up and then you prestige and then you get different things. I have no issue with that. But when you're playing a Star Wars game, you predominantly want to play these characters. And to actually have to put 40 hours of gameplay into unlock one character, it's pretty ridiculous. And it's a deliberate attempt to get people to buy microtransactions to put more money into the game. That's all it's all about. Now, there's been a massive surge from, I think gamers had just had enough, basically, and I was one of them. I cancelled my pre-order, as I said, and many other people that I know who pre-ordered the game also changed their minds and cancel the pre-orders also. But because of the backlash and because of the amount of grief that they were getting, they've changed their mind and they've decreased it. And for that reason, I've pre-ordered again. I actually processed my pre-order last night again after playing the demo. I really enjoyed it. The single player is awesome, and so is the multiplayer. It's good fun. But I just begrudged supporting a game that I felt was really just taking the piss out of gamers. So it's great that that's happened, but unfortunately there's this other element that I only discovered today, and I'll put the article down below so you can see it, and that's the developers were receiving death threats, and I think one of the guys received either 1,300 or 1,600 direct messages to him, giving him all sorts of abuse. And this is a real bad sign. You know, let gamers argue amongst ourselves. I mean, we have done for the last 4 years, and some of that hate that's gone around is just ridiculous. But you know, this isn't the first time that developers have been sent death threats. I remember last year that there was death threats about, I think there was Tomb Raider, the fact that Tomb Raider was coming exclusively for a limited time to the Xbox. The guys there were receiving death threats. This isn't a new thing, but it's a scary trend that seems to be picking up and becoming more and more apparent, that gamers seem to be losing their heads, and I think all these keyboard warriors that hide behind their phones and hide behind their keyboards and send all this shit needs to start taking a look at themselves, because it seems to me that gamers are turning into the modern day football hooligan. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I mean, well, I'm sure people of my age will remember what the football was like in the 70s and the 80s and even the early 90s, where, you know, going to a football match was almost a case of, you know, will I come back alive? You know, it was got to that point, and gaming seems to have got to that point now where they're hooligans. They are nothing more than gaming hooligans, and they hide behind their keyboards, which is even worse. You know, at least a football hooligan had the balls to face somebody off at a football match. These people hide behind a fucking keyboard and a mouse, and I think it's a real sad state of affairs for gaming, where there's a bunch of idiots hiding behind keyboards, sending death threats to people and hate towards their family because of something that's most probably out of their control. At the end of the day, things like microtransactions, you can guarantee that would have been something that would have been pushed onto DICE by EA. And as much as I have grown to respect EA over the last years, because I lost a lot of respect for EA, a hell of a lot of respect for EA and the way that they worked, they gained a little bit of that back with me with things like EA Access, and I started to get back with EA and I started trusting them a little bit more. But this whole microtransaction thing has really sort of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth again with EA. But hopefully, because of the backlash that they have received from normal people who, like me, cancelled their pre-orders and just sent them messages on Twitter just saying that they were making a mistake and they shouldn't be doing this. No death threats, just simple messages saying we're not happy with this. That's all that's needed. And I think some gamers out there, I don't know whether they're there just to hate or what. I don't understand it. I really don't understand what's going on in your heads. The extreme Xboxers that threaten PlayStation gamers and extreme PlayStation gamers that threaten Xboxers. At the end of the day, this is gaming. This is our hobby, and it shouldn't be something that you get attacked for. And developers at the end of the day work their bollocks off to give us these experiences, and the last thing that they deserve is for us to attack them and to send death threats and things like that. Yes, if you don't agree with something, as we didn't with the microtransactions, voice your opinion, let them know, cancel your orders. That's the best way to talk to them, is to cancel your pre-orders, because they listen, and they've listened this time, and that's why they've made these changes. Not because of the death threats, but because people were cancelling pre-orders and they were voicing their concern at this. So stop all this shit that's going on in gaming at the moment, because it's just scary the way that people are reacting to all of this gaming stuff at the moment. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notified on new videos as and when they drop. There will be more this week. As always, I thank you all for watching, and there will be a micropod this Saturday at its normal time of 8 PM with all the guys, so make sure you check that out as well. So we will see you at the micropod on Saturday night. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye bye.